Well, BJP has the advantage of using the double engine ki sarkar wala narrative that, we are going to quickly replicate. There could be no federal hiccup or hurdle over here. So it's going to be easy. That's one. Second, they do have a very strong cadre on the ground. Their voters will turn up to vote. And the third, of course, as I mentioned, the Hindutva vote bank, the Lingayat, the Yudurappa factor, if that works for them. For the Congress, the challenge really is going to get the voters out. That's a problem with parties like the Congress party. Voters have people saying, oh, we love Congress, and they don't even turn up and vote. Ghar pe baith jayenge. They don't have those dedicated cadres which say our left has, which to a certain extent TMC now has, or even the BJP has. Right. So that's going to be one disadvantage. Second, there is a fatigue. There is this anti-incumbency definitely I notice on the ground. They do want change. Not many people are very inspired by the CM-ship of Bombay. So maybe that could be an advantage for the Congress. I think the Congress's campaign, because I covered the Congress party and I've seen they can be very lazy. At least in Karnataka, the campaign was pretty sorted, very good. Local leaders, local issues. They started much earlier. And this time they were very good on the social media. WhatsApp, social media. But they're just going on and on and on, bombarding us with those information.
Hi, this is Khalid and welcome to yet another episode of India This Week. Today we are joined by renowned political journalist Pallavi Ghosh, who's covering the Karnataka elections and is currently in Karnataka. Welcome, Pallavi.
Hi.
So, Pallavi, what's the mood on the ground? We've seen through your Twitter that you've been there for a few weeks, and what's the buzz like?
Yeah.
What are people talking about? The three main contenders: BJP, Congress, and Janata Dal Secular.
Yeah, but Khalid, the interesting part is I did not find JDS so much on the ground, whether it's deliberate. See, there are certain parties which often work in a very quiet, smooth manner. They are not very in your face. So JDS, this election certainly is not in your face. Now, that is a big signal, and why I'm going to explain it matters, because JDS doing well is actually a good news for the BJP. And JDS not doing well or being very low-key is actually good news for the Congress party, because the JDS obviously will eat into one, the Congress's votes if it starts doing well, and second, the Muslim belt, for example, areas of Mysore, old Mysore, those Hassan, those areas, the Muslim belts, JDS has quite a bit of a hold, and that's exactly the vote bank which the Congress party has been working on and been aiming at. And therefore, that's a vote bank the Congress definitely wants for itself. So JDS is going to be very important to watch out for. I'll give you a quick example, Khalid, of Punjab, which I also covered extensively. People were saying, Akali Dal is over and all. But the Akali Dal did eat into the Congress votes, because the anti-BJP, the anti-AAP votes were all going there. So that's how it worked as far as the Punjab situation is concerned. Okay, now coming back to the two main players, the BJP and Congress. If anyone is asking me this question, who's going to win? My thing is, I don't know. Don't ask me. It's such a tight call. Because, I began from Karwar, which is the coastal area. And I am in Bangalore. And in coastal areas, in North Karnataka, which traditionally the stronghold of the BJP, the BJP seems more or less intact. Right. But there seems to have been a little bit of change. When I was speaking to some of the fishermen in the coastal areas like Karwar and all, they were upset about a couple of things. So sometimes I got a sense that, maybe they are going to look for change and maybe vote for the Congress. In Hubli, Dharwad also, there was a sense that the first time voters, the young people, some women also, they were seeming to be talking about a change. But whether you like it or not, this Hanuman thing and this whole Bajrang Dal and Bajrang Bali thing, what the BJP did was only to consolidate votes here and to ensure that no vote goes towards the Congress party, so that the core BJP vote remains completely with the BJP. So I see an edge for them. But parts of central Karnataka, in Bangalore, today itself, I met some young people and they were quite happy with some of the things being offered by the Congress. For example, free bus rides, money into a woman's bank account. Women are going to be a very important decisive factor. And, both the parties have offered something for them. So which way they go, I think is going to decide to a very great extent that who's really going to be winning.
Right. So, Pallavi, as we know that BJP is chasing history, literally, right? For 38 years, no party which is ruled has come back into power, right? And you think, I mean, that's going to change, like, because they have an anti-incumbency. What are the issues that the voters have with with the current government of BJP? And what are like the positives they feel like, for 5 years, BJP did a good job?
So, the Congress has made a lot about corruption. Frankly speaking, wherever I travel in Karnataka, the reason if the people are going to vote for Congress is not that they believe completely into corruption issue, because they tell us, that even when Siddaramaiah was a chief minister, for that matter, you know, he too, there were corruption charges. So everyone is the same. I mean, when I meet a hotelier or a cafe owner in Bangalore, they say, ma'am, we have to pay commissions to just about everybody. So for us, that's not an issue. So in Bangalore, specifically where I am right now, it's issues like water problem, massive traffic, infrastructure. Those are the votes on which people will go out and vote. In rural areas, it's mostly about price rise, it's GST, a bit of corruption mingled with. So what the Congress has tried to do is they've played the corruption angle, knowing very well that corruption may not be a big issue that way, but they've linked it to the fact that because this government wanted commissions, the prices rose, for example. Or it's these people who made money and the benefits of that have never gone to you. So that's what they are whipping up on. A little turnaround I saw with the Prime Minister coming in, I still maintain that, because this whole thing about development schemes to the center coming to a state level, sometimes it's work. I don't know why the BJP did not go and change the CM phase, because Mumbai did come across as a weak CM. And that could be a reason why many people would not want to vote for the BJP, saying that, okay, he's going to continue as the, CM. So, so I think those are the main reasons. Yeah.
Coming to the PM, we have the former CM, right, Jagdish Shettar, which was a big news there and a big development when he did not, get the ticket this time, a 6-time MLA and a former CM, and then he resigned and joined Congress. Bad move by BJP, or they felt like,
I think the BJP, one, of course, the age factor. They actually did an internal assessment where they got this feeling that Jagdish Shettar may not win. And you will be surprised, Khalid, because when I travel to Hubli and Dharwad, and despite the fact that he's considered to be the strong man of that area, I got a sense, I don't know if something has changed in the last couple of days, because I was there on 1.5 to 2 weeks back. I got a sense that Jagdish Shettar may be losing. And when I did speak to some of the Congress leaders, they agreed with me that we think that he may lose. Because not many people like the idea of a man who for years has been attacking the Congress party, has this complete ideological difference, and now joins the Congress. So that's something. And second thing, many people are telling me, I mean, the Dukanwalas and all of them, they were telling me, okay, he's been denied a ticket. He could have contested as an independent, or he could have just continued as the BJP leader. Yedurappa bhi to chunav nahi lad raha hai. So that's what the narrative they gave. So, but why the Congress is happy? Of course, they have a reason to be happy, I mean, a strong man, a man who actually made the BJP inroads into North Karnataka, joins the Congress party. For them, it's a big deal. So, the Congress hopes that this thing can be used, a Lingayat vote bank, Jagdish Shettar factor, to somehow make inroads into North Karnataka. I mean, from having no seats at all to even make 3 seats, it works for the Congress, right?
Right. But we saw, Pallavi, even the same thing with the former deputy CM, right? Lakshman Sawadee, he's also left. So what is the pulse on the ground up? Is he also going to take a few share of votes of BJP and a couple of seats there?
Yeah, I mean, that's the Congress's calculation, that they have some leaders are beyond parties. That's the calculation of Congress party. And also when the BJP also goes in for these turncoats, that some people are beyond parties. So, when they join us, that it helps us, right? I mean, they get their core voters, the dedicated voters they'll get for us. So even if the swing factor of 0.5% or even of 1%, it's really going to work for us. So that's the reason that they're looking at. So, and also the perception. So frankly speaking, the rider over here, because I have also covered Bengal elections, we saw so many leaving the TMC and joining the BJP, but the BJP didn't win elections there, right? So beyond a point of time, this whole turncoat thing doesn't always work.
Okay, right. Also, Pallavi, wanted your thoughts on this. We had renowned political commentator Dr. Anand Ranganathan say that, this was an election which was going in the favor of Congress. And then they shot themselves again in the foot when Mallikarjun Kharge called Modi a poisonous snake. How much has
Yeah.
that riled up people, and how much of a self-goal has
Well,
that been with the Congress?
see, in a poison snake thing, I think, frankly speaking, Kharge managed to redeem himself because Kharge is very astute, very smart. He himself plays a Dalit card. He also invoked the sympathy factor. He apologized so that issue. So if you notice, after that, Abhi Jada, the BJP is not taking it up. BJP is hopping more and more on the Bajrang Dal and the Hanuman Chalisa thing.
Right.
Because they are making this out to be about Hindutva, the core Hindutva votes not being lost. And second, they picked up on Sonia Gandhi's sovereignty tweet to make the point that a vote for the Congress means you vote for terrorism. This is a party which believes in minority appeasement. It believes in terrorism. It hobnobs with international players to run down your country and this and that. So these are the two issues on which, they are now banking on. Hindutva, the time-tested tactic of the BJP, and the second, of course, is that of nationalism.
Right. So, I mean, that's not sticking much as I understand it. Like the poisonous snake, he did work better and redeemed him. So they could not take the
Well,
advantage.
I mean, as I said, Kharge managed to redeem himself because he handled it pretty well. So, he understood that if I don't apologize now or don't retract now, these people will stretch it. So, within 2 hours, I think he issued a clarification that I'm sorry if I've hurt anybody. Apologies work sometimes in politics. It need not be seen as an acknowledgement of guilt. It sometimes works. It makes you look down to what it matters. And Kharge is someone who's respected on the ground because, his seniority, 82 years old, Dalit background. He speaks well. Even today his speech was quite strong and aggressive, actually.
Pallavi, I'm coming to one of your tweets and just want you to elaborate on that. You said Congress now reaches out to social media influencers and YouTubers to put its point of view as they feel mainstream media does not cover them.
Yeah. Oh, that's an earlier tweet of mine.
On 31st March, yeah.
Yeah.
How much did you see that strategy used in Karnataka, and how much is the mainstream not covering them or covering them, and what's the scene there?
Well, I mean, over here, the mainstream is covering Rahul Gandhi and Sonia, the Congress party, definitely. Well, you saw it, right? Like, for example, yesterday, Rahul Gandhi goes to a third weight cafeteria and he hops onto a bus just very close to where my hotel is. It was all out on his YouTube. It was there on the social media, WhatsApp and all of that. So that gets traction, huge number of views immediately. Then I think the other day, 2 days back, he went to that Lavelle Road, which is very close. It's one of the poshest areas of Bengaluru. A lot of young people come there, all the big cafeterias there. He goes there, has coffee and all, but he also mingles with the gig workers. In fact, Congress's manifesto does have a space for them. And that's very important because we know Bengaluru is a hub. Zomato, Swiggy, all those operations as well, Blinkit and all of that. That's one. Second, a large number of people have lost their jobs. I know a lot of journalists who've lost their jobs and have become gig workers, I mean, just yesterday, Khalid, I was very surprised to see that this young Uber driver, clearly he's, he doesn't have a job or something like that. So he's driving Uber in the night to make some extra bucks. So that again went very viral on YouTube. So I think the Congress is understanding the game that, if the mainstream media doesn't kind of show us, then let us just go to a YouTubers because that gets a lot of traction on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat or whatever it is. So Twitter to a certain extent, yeah.
Right. So this whole fiasco with Congress saying that they'll ban Bajrang Dal, to which then BJP said that we will say the slogan loud and out, and to which then you had counter that why should you only say Jai Bajrang Bali? It should be Jai Hind and all that. Is that finding traction in a urban city like Bangalore or in the more exterior, smaller parts of where does that kind of gain traction?
Bangalore, no. I never found anyone really talking much about it. In fact, the Bajrang Dal office is a very chotu office. Is most probably you'll miss if you go to that place. As I said, in North Karnataka, coastal areas, the Hindutva vote bank belt, over there it finds traction. And look, I think the BJP is not only talking about Karnataka, they're looking ahead. They're looking at the elections, the big elections, 2024. Right. So you have to consolidate your Hindutva vote bank. Like UP, Bihar, you cannot give an inch to anyone else. So all is a part of a larger narrative of the BJP. So Bajrang Dal nahi, but the Hanuman Chalisa. And look, if the Congress party is saying that, we don't care a damn about this, it doesn't matter, I don't think it's correct. Because see, even today I saw Priyanka Gandhi Vadra tweeting something on Hanumanji. Then I saw DK Shiv Kumar going to a Hanuman temple today. Even that particular day when he announced that we're going to set up Hanuman temples, he was at the Chamundeshwari temple in Mysore, going to a Hanuman temple. So they are also doing their bit because they know that we cannot afford to lose this narrative. It's not just about Karnataka, it's also about 2024 and other state elections. Like Madhya Pradesh is also coming up, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan.
Right. And how is this viewed both by the urban and rural voter when BJP says that, Congress obviously deals with, obviously now banned PFI, but their political wing, which is the SDPI, do they feel that they are hobnobbing with Muslim extremists and, parties which...
Well, the BJP certainly did raise that point. In fact, the Prime Minister himself made the point that this is the party, I remember S. Jaishankar also spoke about in the Chinese context. And when the sovereignty issue was taken up, I remember the Prime Minister spoke about Butler House. He also spoke about the Palakkad strike. So, on the issues of nationalism, national spirit, I've always found the Congress party on a bit of a back foot. So, if you have one person, for example, on the sovereignty issue, the Congress decided that we are not going to engage with the BJP. So even as the BJP was going hammer and tongs on the Bajrangbali issue, what the Congress was doing is releasing videos of 5 guarantees, Rahul Gandhi going and meeting young workers and so on and so forth. I think the strategy was abundantly clear that we are not going to digress or divert attention from this. But you had Digvijay Singh today suddenly saying that, okay, look, sovereignty, she was absolutely right about it. And he started quoting the constitution. These confusing mixed signals from the Congress party, often pulls it down. And the BJP as a political party will always take advantage of it, I mean, nationalism, national security are always going to be a weak spot of the Congress party. So the Congress is understanding it and is trying to do a certain amount of damage control. But the sense I get is that often it's a little bit too late.
All right. And also wanted to understand, it's a unique state, right? It's one of India's most prosperous states. It has our own
silicon valley. And a Cosmo also, very Cosmo.
As a political journalist who's covered the length and breadth, so the issues are very progressive and very which you would find in a first world country, in a place like Bangalore. Then you go to the rural belt. So can you share some anecdotes of what are the aspirations of the voters when you talk to them in Bangalore? And then maybe Mysore and other smaller, how much does it differ? Does religion, caste, ethnicity all play, a role?
But in Bangalore, I never felt that. In Bangalore, they clearly want to make money. I mean, and a large number of young people, The large number of young people, they're aspirational people. It's a different world altogether, frankly speaking, in Bangalore. It's very interesting, very mesmerizing. And the life is very, I mean, on a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, you will not even find a place to stand inside a cafeteria. People love to eat out. And they're all those young people you can make out. They're the ones who are living in the hostels, staying away from their family. So they roam around, and there's this lovely Ulcer Lake area. So there's Kara Cafe there and Cafe by the Lake. So it's very clear they want to make money the right way, and it's a very tech city. So people are very, high tech, and they're up and about, and that kind of thing you find about them. So it's very Cosmo. These things don't matter. I found a mixed crowd. I remember I don't know if you've been to Bangalore, but there is this huge park, which is called the Cubbon Park. It's so beautiful. So I was walking along with some young walkers, and they were all first-time voters. 2-3 of them told me that they really want to vote. So I said, why? They said, no, we want to vote because we feel it's the right thing to do. It's a very it thing, it's going to be in and all that. But I met 2-3 young girls who said, mujhe to vote hi nahi karna, nothing is going to change. So we have find these two extremes. On one hand, people think, I'll feel important, I'll tweet about it. That's what they told me, that, ma'am, I'm going to vote and we'll put it on Instagram and we're going to put it on Twitter and we're going to put it on Snapchat. We'll tell our friends it's a big deal that we went out and voted. These 2 girls tell me that nothing is going to change. We are fine. Everything is fine here. It's a safe city and all that. We don't even feel like going out and voting. It's a holiday for us. That's what I found. Rural areas, even the young ones, like educated ones, I've met some very bunch of young students, architecture students in Hubli. And it's interesting because 2 of them told me that Jagdish Shettar should not have left the Congress party because there's something called loyalty. There's something called principles.
BJP.
Yeah, he should not have left the BJP. Yeah. So they were those first-time voters. And they are in smaller towns, in rural areas. I found the young people and the first-time voters more politically aware. They want to vote because they talked about constitution, they talked about my right to vote, I'm going to hold my neta accountable. Whereas in Bengaluru, the people I met wanted to vote because they felt it was like that big social media move. So, yeah.
So,
very nice. I mean, yeah.
Karnataka, please carry on.
Yeah, that's something. Karnataka is fascinating, actually. I guess every state is, but yeah.
It's a cool state to cover, right?
Yeah. So are you in Bangalore, based in Bangalore?
Pune.
Oh, you're in Pune, so you're Marathi?
No, I'm Kashmiri based in Pune.
Oh, really? Oh, that's very
when
interesting.
you come down to cover the Maharashtra
if I can
elections
digress,
next year, you're invited home.
I go to Pune a lot because I have my friends there.
So,
but okay, a little digress. Where in Kashmir?
Srinagar.
Where in Kashmir?
Srinagar.
You're proper Srinagar?
Yeah, but I'm brought up in Pune, so I'm a Pune boy with roots in Kashmir.
But you have family in Srinagar?
Yes.
I was there for the Bharat Jodo Yatra. That's changed. Srinagar has changed. They have a multiplex and all of that.
Exactly, and record tourist numbers, and stone pelting is ended.
I went and watched Pathan over there. So
exactly, and children of lesser Allah are not dying in pelting crashes. So, wanted to speak about Bharat Jodo Yatra, Pallavi. I was going to take up that question. How much of Raga's image has changed in Karnataka post that? Are people taking him up more seriously?
Well, this much I have to tell you that they do like the Gandhi family very much, and there's a history to it. I mean, when Indira Gandhi was completely politically believed to be wiped out post-emergency, she bounced back in 1978 from Chikmagalur and Karnataka, right? So, and same with Sonia Gandhi, she contested from Bellary and she won from there. So Karnataka has a thing for the Gandhi women and the Gandhi family, I think it's the fact that Gore hai and, the Gandhi surname. Right. And also that Karnataka has been a ground for the political comeback or the political bouncing of, the Gandhi family members. So whether it's been Indira Gandhi or whether it's Sonia Gandhi, and people over here haven't forgotten that, especially if you go to belts like Bellary, Chikmagalur, in those areas. Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra was the longest and the most successful part of it was actually in Karnataka because it was very well planned. I also think it was because elections were around the corner, so the Congress wanted to make sure that it is well planned. And therefore, for me, I think the Karnataka, so like when I saw Rahul Gandhi yesterday hobnobbing with these people, there was a recall value. There were actually people telling him, Acha, you were here also for the Bharat Jodo Yatra, you went here, you went there. To a certain extent, despite the fact that the Congress party says that the Bharat Jodo Yatra was not political in nature, this is going to be a litmus test for him. If the Congress wins, a part of the credit will be given to the Yatra. If it doesn't, then of course the BJP and his political opponents will say, "Dekho, Yatra bhi kiya and they did win election, so Yatra was never a success story."
Right. That brings me to an important question: how BJP has been selling in this elections that UCC is what they will get in. So for the liberal progressive crowd in Bangalore and then the slightly conservative in the rural belts and tier 2 parts of Karnataka, how much of a big deal is UCC when you spoke to the people on the
ground? But I didn't even hear the BJP making a big issue about it over here. I mean, barring the Home Minister mentioning it a couple of times, but the press conferences, their bhashans, their rallies, at some point of time, I realized that the BJP too wanted to keep it largely local, not talk about contentious or controversial issues, leave it for later. So frankly speaking, they also did not make it much of an issue here. And as I said, in Bengaluru, these issues really were not what people were talking about. If they go out and vote, people are definitely go out and vote on things like roads, traffic, water problems. There are apartments which are not wanting to vote. I know one big apartment complex who told me, and they have got 1,200 residents there. They're saying we're not going to go out and vote because nothing changes. Whether it's the Congress, whether it's the BJP. Outside our apartment is a sewage line. No one has bothered to repair it for the last 10 years. So these are the issues which really matter. I think at the national level, we often tend to hype, issues like this, thinking that they matter in the state elections. Actually, they don't. They matter in the national elections. Local elections, they don't. At this time, BJP, except towards the end, has largely tried to keep it local. But towards the end, of course, things like Bajrang Dal and terrorism came up.
Right. That brings me to a question. A school friend asked me to ask this. He said, you're discussing with Pallavi Ghosh. So he said, the exteriors of Bangalore, areas which have come up, he's based out of there. And he says, there's no proper garbage disposal also. and the streets are littered and they have a lot of issues.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. Why outside of Bangalore, even inside Bangalore?
Yeah.
I'm very surprised for a green happening city like Bengaluru. It is, I mean, hotel ke bahar only if you step out. Yeah, the garbage has not been picked up for days. See, these are the issues which Bangaloreans told me about. Even in Mysore, I found it so dirty. I found it very dirty. And I remember I visited Mysore last year. It's gone dirtier.
So that is an issue.
Yeah.
Congress is saying that we'll resolve it, and
Yeah, I think it's a part of the. I don't have a copy of the manifesto, but it is a part of the manifesto. Yeah. In fact, the BJP has also said this, that we're going to make it a cleaner city, make it a smart city, and all of that. Why? Which is why there's a disdain among the voters. They say election time, everyone promises something, but nothing changes.
Okay. And how much about that belt, which was last year in a lot of news because of the hijab protests? What's
That
this?
Udupi.
Yeah. What is the
Yeah,
sentiment?
so I didn't get to go there, Khalid, but I know a couple of my friends and colleagues went there, and they spoke to mixed number of people. So it's a very mixed opinion. A lot of young girls said that we did what we wanted to do. We proved our point, so we are now moving ahead. And I don't think the BJP is expecting too much from there, but that's very going to be an interesting zone of JDS versus the Congress party, who is going to be able to take it up around. See, but what has happened is that the Congress also, because it started clamoring for that Hindutva vote bank, somewhere down the line, I also found that many of these Muslims and minorities were a little upset with the Congress in some areas. They told me that, hame use and throw karte hain. No one cares for us. Like, I remember I was in Mysore on the day of the Samadhi Divas, Shaheed Divas of Tipu Sultan. The Congress made a big thing about Tipu Jayanti. And I don't know if you saw that story, but I spoke to one of the descendants or the kins of Tipu Sultan, and he had come to the birthplace, death place rather, where his body was found. And he told me DK is just a kilometer away. He's come to a Chamundeshwari temple, gone to a Hanuman temple. Congress goes on and on about Tipu Jayanti. Today, none of them have turned up because of the Bajrang Dal controversy, and they want to show their Hindutva credentials.
Right.
So, yeah, so that's also what some of them are upset about. But I think the young girls, which my colleagues spoke to, they say we've kind of moved on. We proved our point that you cannot tell us how we should go in. For us, and I think you must have seen the big story of this young girl from Bangalore, the one who faced the hijab thing, and she kind of came second or topped the
As you suggested, I
exams.
covered that.
Yeah, so you prove a point, right? Now I don't know how he's going to go for elections.
Right. And now I want to understand from you, 224 seats is what all three of them are vying for. If you could go party by party, BJP, what is the advantage and what is the disadvantage they're going in? And then Congress and JDS.
Well, BJP has the advantage of using the double engine ki sarkar wala narrative that, we are going to quickly replicate. There could be no federal hiccup or hurdle over here. So it's going to be easy. That's one. Second, they do have a very strong cadre on the ground. Their voters will turn up to vote. And the third, of course, as I mentioned, the Hindutva vote bank, the Lingayat, the Yadurappa factor, if that works for them. For the Congress, the challenge really is going to get the voters out. That's a problem with parties like the Congress party. Voters have people saying, "Oh, we love Congress," and they don't even turn up and vote. Ghar pe baith jayenge. They don't have those dedicated cadres which say our left has, which to a certain extent TMC now has, or even the BJP has. Right. So that's going to be one disadvantage. Second, there is a fatigue. There is this anti-incumbency. Definitely, I notice on the ground. They do want change. Not many people are very inspired by the CM-ship of Bombay. So maybe that could be an advantage for the Congress. I think the Congress's campaign, because I covered the Congress party and I've seen they can be very lazy. At least in Karnataka, the campaign was pretty sorted, very good. Local leaders, local issues. They started much earlier. And this time they were very good on the social media, WhatsApp, social media. But they're just going on and on and on, bombarding us with those information.
And JDS, they're in a bit of an existential crisis.
Yeah, JDS, I don't know. Other than saying Mysore, Hassan are the areas I went to, you would not even see them. I never saw a poster. I saw Congress. I saw an Aam Aadmi Party poster. I never imagine. I entered Karwar Aam Aadmi Party office. I went to Hubli. The first office is Aam Aadmi Party. But I never saw a JDS poster or those campaigns. Only one I saw here in Bangalore. I don't know what is happening. Is it deliberate or they've decided not to play along or not to campaign? I don't know. I'm just not able to understand. Not even in their stronghold areas. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I tried to figure out, but कोई बात ही नहीं कर रहा.
And what is Mr. Oasis anything at all in Karnataka?
No,
or Mr.
again,
ignores him royally?
yeah. I mean, he did a couple of rallies again in some of those areas which has a substantial amount of his vote bank. But again, like in Bengal, he, the Furfura Sharif and Owaisi, like what, nothing, no?
Nothing.
So, yeah, so
Neither in UP.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Neither in UP. UP तो फिर भी ठीक ठाक थोड़ा बहुत किया था. No, Bihar did it well. Yeah, Bihar did it well.
So, lastly, Lingayat community, how big a factor are they?
Okay, so that is going to be a very important factor because that's the reason why Yediyurappa has been roped in and he's campaigning. But I don't know, it's a mixed bag because some people tell me, local journalists told me that Yediyurappa is someone who I don't think the BJP can completely depend on for the Lingayats because he's also a little upset, he's a little offended. And like apparently on the manifesto day, he was there much before others were there. And while all the top leaders, including the BJP president, went up to the first floor, he was sitting niche in that hall. So Yediyurappa, how much he actually drives his core voters to go out and vote for the BJP, a lot will depend on that. Mind you, look, Lingayat community, Vokalinga, these are two vote banks where the Congress party is also trying to tap, which is why the Jagdish Shettar factor comes in.
Lastly, I'm going to put you in a bit of a spot because, like you said, it's a race to the finish. 224 seats. Some predictions? Congress?
No. Okay, I can only say safely, I don't think it's going to be a hung. I think people are going to vote clearly. So I hope it's not hung because then I'm stranded. But then, no, I don't think it's going to be hung. I think it's going to be kind of decisive manner, but maybe a wafer thin kind of a margin.
And you don't think JDS will play a kingmaker again and then BJP?
That's not the sense I got. I may be wrong, but I seriously didn't get that sense. They somehow did not seem to be up and about. They said the same about the Akali Dal in Punjab, and we saw how badly they did. Here also the JDS, I don't know. I think BJP or Congress, yeah.
Right. Lastly, one good thing about the political landscape of one of India's most prosperous states, which other states can learn about the mindset, life, what is it that we can learn about Karnataka? Learn from them.
I don't know. I mean, I find almost every state is their people are not loud here. Like they are not. Like in some states, like in Bengal, that's my home state. वहाँ पे, if you are talking to someone who has a different political point of view than you, मतलब कुछ भी करने के लिए तैयार, डंडा निकाल के, they'll fight with you and they shout at you. They're very aggressive in your face. Here, people are not loud. They are very low key. Rallies में देखोगे ये वो, but I didn't find people loud here. They'll agree to disagree with you. That I found in Karnataka wherever I travel. Language is an issue over here, yeah, but otherwise people I found they disagree. They were not too much of tutu meme. So that peaceful coexistence, like a typical cosmos city, something like that. All kinds of people.
You found that, Pallavi, even across the landscape, even in the smaller parts of Karnataka to a large extent?
Yeah, even in the small. I travel a lot in the smaller parts. And Davangere I went, and like Belgavi and all. I mean, where the Marathi issue is very strong. And then somewhere else I went where the Kannadiga said, it's not fair to say this about us and so on. They didn't disagree, they were nice chatting and they were nice. And I found people generally not very loud and rude. That's something I didn't find.
Right. Lastly, on a lighter note, Abhijit Iyer Mitra was having a friendly banter with you. You were trying out different
He's a very mean,
dishes in Karnataka. So, which one would you recommend to viewers?
I am stuffed with dosas. I've never had so much of dosa in my life, but the food is great. And I complain about South Indian food, but each time I have it, it's different. I'm a coffee fan, filter coffee out of the world. Dosa, I like that bene dosa, which I tried making also in Davangere. It is like lots of white butter and all. So I love that.
Okay. All right.
Dosa and... Dosa. Bye, Khalid. I'll see you in Pune hopefully soon.
Definitely. And have a great time. And now, I mean, it's just a few days away and you're there right in the thick of action.
Yeah. So tomorrow's polling, counting on 14th.
Yeah.
And don't believe all the nasty things that Abhijit tells you about me. He's a very mean fellow. but a very good friend.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode with the person right there in the thick of things. And yeah, we'll have her more often now on all the political, things across India. Someone who's so passionate about it and loves it. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I love my job. Bye. Okay, bye. Bye.